You're off.
Thanks so much, Debbie. Happy Kwaai Day, everybody. Yes, the 40th weekly public meeting. Thanks so much, everyone, for being consistent. Look, amazing traction. It's the beginning of May. So look, we're now 1 month into Q2. Just want to give you a quick update on where we are in terms of traction and so on. Here's an updated slide of our milestones and traction at the end of May. You can see that the slope of the volunteer growth has gone from sort of 1 volunteer a day to now 2 volunteers a day, and we expect that to increase. Thanks so much to Barrett Booth for being our recruiter supremo. But we've got some great volunteers at all sorts of levels in the organization, at very senior levels, got lots of interest at senior levels, all the way down to recent graduates who are looking to be part of the community. They'll be looking for mentorship and so on. And look, in order to do this, we've needed to automate our back office. Thanks so much to Eunice for getting us onto Salesforce. Thanks to Salesforce for giving us a free account. And Eunice has gone and automated our whole back office through that. Thanks very much. We have, as we grow this organization, we've now gone through 350 members. We're doubling each quarter. You know that a couple of weeks ago, we launched the EMEA chapter. Thanks so much, Christian. And they'll be holding their own weekly public meetings on Thursdays, but not weekly. It's going to be bi-weekly as they start ramping up. Thanks so much for all of the hard work, not only in code writing. We've clocked 19,000 volunteer hours in our work streams. Most of it, 80% of it's going into personal AI development. About the rest of it shared between fundamental AI research and policy development. So thanks so much. I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to stop presenting. Back to you, Debbie, to get us on track. There we go.
All right. And for the first update, we've got Sam, who will give us engineering. So Sam, if you're up. Sam, I know I saw.
Sorry, just give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Okay, sure. And so Balaji is also around, but Balaji's unfortunately landed jury duty, and so he's probably going to be out of pocket currently. And let me also give apologies from Doc, who has. He's out today, but we've got Afshin Beheshti, our president, who is also around. I see Kai's hands up. Kai, do you mean to talk now, or is that an accidental hand up? Okay. Kai,
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Just organizing very important.
No, it's just an error. Sorry.
Oh, very, very good. Okay, excellent. Okay, Sam, off you go with your engineering update.
Okay. So we've had let me actually, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let me quickly share, if I can. I'm not allowed to share.
No, you will be very, very briefly. I'm going to make you a co-host. Apologies. Yeah.
So I've had a busy week, a lot. Let's see, here we go. We're going to share this window here, which you will have all seen. What I've been working on this week has been so this is one of what we've been calling abilities, and there's a discussion about that. But in this case, Llama file, it's a local LLM that runs anywhere. It runs on Windows, runs on Mac, runs on Linux, runs on OpenBSD, or the various BSDs, all in the same file. It's called an actually portable executable. And one of the things that you need, of course, is these Llama files. You need to be able to have to see them and then download them. And so what I've built here is a multi-threaded download manager, so you can download the different LLMs that you want to use, and that will go away and do that. It's happening in the back end. You can see here the % complete. Oh, and actually, you can't see that. Let me just change the window to here, and you can actually see there the downloads are being updated, right? So this web interface is one client, and you could have a mobile app, or you could have an API integration and other things. And then, once these finish downloading, you can interrupt the download as well. Once they finish downloading, that will update, and then of course you can delete them to free up some space as well. So we're getting to the point where you've got actually something which is already useful. You can run it and do inference locally. And then the next thing to do is to start adding in things like local storage, add RAG orchestration. So in the abilities, we've got things like your Chroma, OpenAI APIs, maybe some proxies with authentication and this kind of thing. Another big part of the part of progress this week is the creation of a PyOS website, which you may have seen posted. Let me bring up that again. So we've got pyos.org here, and the point of this is to make it really easy for you to come in and get the documentation you need, and then also any kind of updates there. This is all living in GitHub, and every time that the pages get committed, this is a thing called Docusaurus. Every time that gets committed, that gets built by GitHub Actions, and then that site gets updated. And then we've got also the code that I've been working on is here, and it has its dedicated org and repo and everything. And we're starting to see some other people coming in. Thanks, Karsten, coming in and doing fixes and submitting updates and pull requests and so on. The main discussion we had yesterday, which was at the architecture group, was about kind of the nomenclature we're using, particularly around abilities. That led to quite a long discussion, an overflow discussion of another hour, looking at kind of really what we came to was the distinction between the operating system on which you would build. Again, in nomenclature, I'm going to get in trouble here by saying applications, but when you have an operating system, you put apps on it like Microsoft Office going onto Windows or Mac OS or whatever, right? So the Pi OS is an operating system, and then your talking heads and chatbots and agents and like headless agents and other things are kind of applications of the lowercase applications of that operating system. And that's where we can kind of divide the different development efforts. So if we're building, for example, the beta, I would say, okay, well, the guys building the beta should use what we've created at the operating system layer and give us input as to what they need. And then we can have multiple threads, both applying the operating system to solving problems, but also within the operating system adding capabilities or abilities or plugins or components or modules or whatever we end up calling them. So that's about it for, it's been a busy week. We've got a lot done. But I think we're starting to get to the point where we're getting, multiple contributors, and that's good. I'd like to see more people getting on board and starting to help out.
I have a question, if it is possible. I would like to know which is the difference with LM Studio.
So an LM Studio allows you to start and run an LLM locally, and it's actually a really cool piece of software. So this does that, but it's cloud-based. So you're actually starting the LLM wherever this is running. So you can be, for example, running this, and those downloads are happening on the server via that API, and it's where your data is. So your data is typically going to be in like Google Drive and IMAP and other things that are out there in the cloud. If Dave McCrory was here, he'd be talking about data gravity and bringing the apps to the data instead of the data to the apps. But also then we have the ability to add RAG and relations, so both vector storage, relational storage, all of that orchestration, any agent frameworks that we want to add in there, any like voice connections, any video generation connections and syncing. And so on. So LM Studio does kind of the LLM, but this does.
So Sam, perhaps, yeah, I see lots of calls, lots of questions coming in on this. Maybe we can move that to the hackathon call straight after this.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Debbie can keep us back on track. Okay.
I will put you back on track.
Cool. Thank you.
Go.
Thank you, Sam. Perfect. So, well, now we're moving to Roman architecture. So,
Happy Kwaai Day, everybody. Thank you.
Happy Kwaai Day. Roman, you need sharing permission?
No, I do not.
Okay, great.
Basically, what I wanted to talk as an advance, it's on the same page, convergence, a busy week. We've been trying to converge all our workflows, including backend, architecture, and frontend. So basically what Sam said, thank you, Reza.
oh,
Yeah, I'm sharing for Roman. So talk through this diagram, Roman.
Thank you, Reza. Basically, we have all these open workflows. In the end, they all need to converge on our data. It's very important for us that by the end of May, we finish converging architecture and the backend. That is why all the open discussions are being made on our Thursday architecture workgroup. Also, thank you, Karsten, for sharing the Linux Foundation Open Platform for Enterprise AI framework. We've been reviewing that, and basically, we have that in our pipeline, not as developed as the document from the Linux Foundation, but we are on the same page. Having a theoretical architecture, then it's going to converge on a stack architecture that Sam is working to end on a very formal document like this. So thank you for sharing that. Validate also our vision, that it's a correct vision, basic that the Linux Foundation has very strong practices going on. So thank you so much for that, Karsten. And basically that's it.
Hey, thanks so
we
much.
are working on that conversion, and in the end came with the full protocol beta and a well-developed document.
Fantastic. Debbie, get us back on track.
all right. Carson, community update, please.
Sure thing. So really briefly, because this is a new area, I just want to catch everyone up. I'm just that my role is about 50-50 mix of just community management stuff, going around and helping make sure everybody is able to help each other with the things that we're doing to grow and collaborate, and then discussions and mentoring with Kwaai leaders. So if you're a board member, an advisor, you're leading a working group, and we haven't had any one-to-one discussions, and let's talk soon. I think this week, this last week, part of it was digging around in the technical collaboration side and beginning to look at what how we are in a peer for people who are coming in to help in the project. So the small pull requests that I made to the GitHub repo were along the lines of just trying to make things more straightforward for people, and it's all that kind of helping each other. I think we've got a few more. I basically am doing a sort of look through and audit of everything so that I can get a list out. I'm going to create a bunch of issues in the GitHub repo that will identify all the different things that I think we want to work on or expand about. Part of this is trying to figure out how to meet people where they are with their ability to collaborate, and also get people a little bit out of their comfort zone into the uncomfortable to try out new tools and new processes. So we want to make sure we're balancing that line. If you're finding anything uncomfortable or confusing, please reach out to me directly. You can find me on Slack or LinkedIn. I'll give you my number or whatever it takes. I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to understand and participate. And more to come in a couple of weeks. I think I'll probably have a little bit more then. So let me get off the mic now, and we'll jump now. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Karsten. That's really valuable. Karsten, are you going to be on the office hour on Monday?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. And a big favor on that. I think that's a great move. I really appreciate that we're starting to spread out the onboarding work and so forth. It's helping mentor new people is something that we all can be doing. Anybody who's been here for 2 weeks can probably help a new person. So, so if you're, so come join that call, even if you're, and just, listen in and participate into the future. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
And Toby will update us on the marketing efforts and operation, and he'll also be on the call on Monday with you, Karsten.
Yes. So first, I want to say a big welcome to my boy Jesse Lindsay. He's on the call. He's with Thrust Interactive. And Jesse was actually part of the original crew with me 14 years ago that produced the first startup weekend in Atlanta. And he has agreed to come on and be part of the production team on the ground. So big love. Thank you. Everybody show Jesse some love. We appreciate you, man. And also Jesse's working on some AI stuff. So hopefully he'll dig into the community here with us.
Tadinha, eu preciso fazer de novo no Kate dela.
Okay, Ed, you probably want to mute.
And then Anatoly.
Ela tava lá em cima.
I'm going to put the links here to Anatoly's work. He is a designer that has agreed to sponsor our branding. Let me see if I can mute them. I'll mute them. There we go. Done. They're muted. I got it. No problem.
Right. Thank you so much.
And here is his Behance profile, so people can take a look at his work. But he has agreed to sponsor our branding, design, and we probably also can drag him into helping us with some UI stuff. He's really a good designer.
Right.
So
I was supposed to have a call. I was supposed to have a call with him last night, and it just got too late. So
it's okay. I had a call with him this morning, and he is on board.
Okay. No, I'm really looking forward to his contribution. Okay.
Yep. And then Fondo, Dave Phillips. Thank you, Fondo. They're going to come on board and sponsor the hackathons as well. Kim Bryant from Black Girls Who Codes. She's going to bring her community of females, specifically young Black females that are looking to get into the software engineering field. She's got an army of young ladies across the country. Jeff Pilisuk from Santa Clara University. I want to say thanks to Jeff, my bro, runs the Entrepreneur Center. He's actually offered to be a backup location if we can't get Google. So thank you, Santa Clara University. Right Analytics has agreed to also sponsor. So thank you to Chris and the team at Right Analytics. And they've also, anyone in the Kwaai community that has an interest of using Right Analytics in your business, take a look at it and reach out to me and I'll get you set up with a free account as well. They just want to be helpful in the community. I'm an advisor to the company, so the founders just really want to be helpful. And that's it on the marketing. I mean, we're still pushing. I want to say, everybody, please, if you haven't added to your LinkedIn your role, please do. It helps with our sponsorship. The numbers have been increasing. I think we're at 40 people so far on LinkedIn, and it shows. So we've got 350 of them. So please, everyone, just take a moment, add that. And also for our events, when you see an event, please take a moment, share it with your network, because the best marketing is word of mouth marketing. So thank you, everybody. And I'm going to hand it over back to Reza the Jizza, the 36 chambers.
Let me just rush through the funding and sponsors update. But first of all, here is a new page that I've not completed yet. It is how you apply to join the beta program. And this is where I'm going to need some UI help. Okay, so the beta program we are going to be running in academia. So we're going to be launching Kwaai, the personal AI, your personal AI agent. We're going to be launching it in academia. So this is the part of our roadmap I'm talking about, the beta over here. And it means that schools and colleges, colleges and universities can apply to join the beta program. I haven't published the page, or the page is a hidden link. It's on the site. I'm going to work with UI volunteers to improve the design of it. But here are the objectives and the requirements. Okay, so that's something that's imminent. It's about 2 weeks away. I can give you a funding update later on. I know we've got Carl on the phone as well, but look, we've got our guest speaker. We've got Larry Namer, co-founder of E-Entertainment. Would you believe it? Okay, so I'm gonna introduce Larry. You're introduced. please take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Reza. Yeah, Reza and I reconnected after many years of not connecting. But anyway, just brief background. In the U.S., probably best known as the founder of E! Entertainment Television, which is, we started. It was a total entrepreneurial venture. I think it was the only TV network ever started by regular people as opposed to media companies. Now in 142 countries, and while everybody talks about influencers, we figured out that if you took the top 100 influencers of pop culture in the world and you add up all the people they reach in any day, they don't reach as many people as E! Valuation now somewhere around 5.5 billion or some crazy number like that. Once you get past a certain number of zeros, I stop counting. But I've always been interested in the big changes in the media world, which I felt were the geography of it was changing. When I got in the business, it was if I would do a business plan, you would weight the financials 95% US and 5% other. But I started to notice that dramatic change, and that Hollywood really becoming less of a geographic place and more of a mindset, a level of quality and storytelling and stuff like that. And now if I do a business plan, it's 30% US, and we actually name the other countries. You couple that with changes in technology, which the big media companies they spend their first 5 years trying to fight it, sometimes even longer. They just think that if they fight it, it'll go away, and it never does, and they never learn from it and stuff like that. So I'm a weird animal in the media world in that I'm a creative storyteller, but my degree is in economics, so I know how to read a balance sheet. And then I spent 2.5 years as Bill Gates' primary consultant for strategy in the media world. So I learned more about technology than anybody in Hollywood should. So it makes me kind of a weird person, but had looking for challenges, went off, started a media company in Russia. Had the #1 TV show in Russia 5 days a week for 10 years, which was kind of strange since I don't really speak good Russian. And eventually helped the Russians write media reform. When Putin came to power, he and I had started a big music festival in Russia where we raise money for the Children's Hospital and the orphanage in St. Petersburg every year. Big 6-day festival, which ended with the Ukraine situation, obviously. But I helped the Russians write regulatory policy for the change, the jump from being 100% communist party to a little bit capitalistic. The Chinese kind of came to that conclusion. They had to do media reform. They like the Russian model. They went to the Russians sent them to me. And so I did the same thing for China. And they invited me in to start a media company there. And because technically a Western media company can't exist there, they set us up as an experimental company. And we've been an experiment for 12 years now. So when the Chinese want you there, they make it really easy. And when they don't want you there, they make it impossible. We do everything there, from TV, film, internet content, live events. We own the rights to all this immersive stuff that's been playing all around the world, immersive Van Gogh and Klimt and King Tut and Titanic and all of that. But, I've been a big AI fan for a long time. And been following it, and jumped into GBT quite a while ago, and then obviously GBT4. Been trying to advise some of the big guilds and the unions here about the inevitability and what needs to happen. I got to say that SAG has not been too receptive to my positive attitude, but the Writers Guild has actually been. And I've been working with writers over 50 who were victims of an age discrimination thing here in Hollywood, because if you're over 50, you don't get work anymore. and been teaching them AI and how to use it as a writing tool. And I got to say, very, very successfully. Once they kind of got it and they realized what it could do for them, they just absolutely love it. And hopefully they spread the word wider and stuff like that. But then probably the most applicable, because I've been an adversary of the guilds and the unions for many years, and particularly the award shows. I feel the award shows that we do here, the Oscars and the Emmys, really never recognizes the change in the business, both geography and technology. So in first quarter next year, myself and a guy named Chris Snook, who's really a technology guy, we're doing something called the Nifty Awards. It's Oscars of the Metaverse, which we're actually going to do out of Las Vegas, putting it out on a Zoom feed. We now have figured out how to jigger Zoom. We can get 570,000 simultaneous Zoom feeds going at once. Zoom is not real happy with us, but that's life. But in order to watch the award show, to get you got to buy a token. So we're creating NFTs, basically proof of concept, that when for $1 you could watch the pre-show, for $2 you could watch the pre and the post, and for $3 you could watch the whole thing. But it really all gets recorded on the blockchain, so it's irrefutable proof that you participated. And the interesting silly data about that, if you go back to Woodstock, there were 500,000 people who went to Woodstock, but when Harris did a poll for how many people were at Woodstock, 20 million people said they were there. So this is meant to deal with that. We now have the language thing down to 38 languages. So when the host speaks English, we know that you're coming in from France. In France, the host speaks French. In Spain, the host speaks Spanish, and we're using AI to manipulate facial muscles so that it doesn't look like it's dubbed. It looks like he's speaking. In Mexico, he speaks Mexican Spanish. Where I've got Richie Rich, who designs for Lady Gaga. He's designing the clothing for our female host. We're minting that literally on the spot. So, Debbie, if you want to get the digital dress to dress your avatar that Lady Gaga is going to be wearing, we could do that. And that's kind of it. Been busy and. I stayed out of the US for a while, but with COVID, I decided it was either get back in the US or learn how to play golf, and I'm not very good at it, so I'm back in creating in the US. Basically, socially responsible programming. I'm doing a series called Conscious Parenting, all about the difficulties of being a parent in today's complex world. Another one on financial wellness for millennials, because they don't learn anything in school anymore. I've got a nighttime talk show with a female host, because there are no females in late night TV in the US, and she's a motivational speaker and single mom and very different than anybody that's on air. And now I'm doing another one. I'm in development on something called Uncanceled, which really deals with the craziness of cancel culture. And how the pendulum has swung a little bit too far, and trying to give people a platform to at least either tell their side of the story or apologize for what they did. But they, when they get convicted, they get no media. So it's giving them an opportunity. Anyway, that's kind of what I've been up to, and really very interested in what you guys are doing with Kwaai and stuff like that. So.
Thanks so much, Larry. And thanks so much for, Larry, you weren't our first choice for this slot. You're actually filling in for somebody else who's on the bill, but oh my word, I appreciate that we stayed connected since the early days. I showed you this. This was the Lightworks edit console. This is the thing that helped transform editing in Hollywood. And look, it was a disruptive industry, and lots of the folks in the celluloid business were absolutely scared of it and resistant to digital change. Here we are now in another era AI has come to the entertainment industry, and there's fear. But look, we're trying to find a way of making AI an empowering force for individuals and for creatives. So thanks so much for being an ally in that mission.
Will I be seeing you in Cannes week after next? Are you heading over that way?
You're coming up to Vancouver? No, where are you going?
No, France, to Cannes. I've been doing a fair bit of entertainment work and was there last year. Talking about AI and so on. So I'm going to go back.
You should connect. You should connect with our Georgia team that will be there heavily, Sam. So I'll make sure Asante gets you connected with them.
Well,
awesome,
very good.
Thank you.
The first slot in the members' voices I'd like to reserve for Carl Mehta. Carl and I met this morning. Carl, sorry to jump this on you. I hadn't alerted you, but I see that you're on the call. So I thought maybe, and bear in mind, this is a public meeting, so maybe you just want to talk about, give us an update. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 second. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. And Reza, thank you for inviting me. I was just listening to the meeting. Great work. So first of all, congratulations to all of you for being a part of this community, and doing the volunteering work is very, very extremely commendable, given how everyone's busy in their life, and the ability to find time and contribute with your time and talent is extremely commendable. So appreciate the work, and I'm a big fan of open source and community work. My just quick background: I've been in Silicon Valley for the past 27 years. I just moved to LA. I built my third company 7 years back. I started a company called Edcast, which was an AI-based learning platform, helping people learn faster, better. That company was acquired by Santa Monica-based Cornerstone about 18 months back, and that brought me to Los Angeles. And I have been in venture capital as a partner at Menlo Ventures and built a couple other companies, one in fintech space, which was helping pretty much every major gaming company. And that's how I met Reza back when he was at Real Networks. We were the first virtual currency platform before Bitcoin was invented in 2008. I started a company in 2006 called PlaySpan. That was that took the idea of a virtual currency that would be a single common currency across all games, so that gamers, hundreds and millions of gamers, don't have to keep buying and swapping different currencies. They just get one currency, and they can use it across all digital media. We were the platform for Facebook credits. We were the platform for Dungeons and Dragon Online, from to Lord of the Rings to every major Disney games. Anyway, that's just my background in gaming and digital media that got me connected with Reza almost 12, 14 years back. We were also the platform for Microsoft Xbox, and had deep discussions with Rob, the founder of Real Networks, and Reza. Anyway, so that's just my quick background in AI. I've done a few things. The most recent company, Edcast, that was we built from NLP to neural networks to a whole content recommendation. We were not into generative AI, but we were in recommendation of content. And if we would understand the intent of the user in terms of what their learning needs are, and we would pull together a whole set of recommended content in a sequence from point A to point B, kind of like a Google map, so that help a user to go from from where they are to where they want to go. And that was the core platform that we built, and created a pretty large scale graph database of kind of the nearness adjacency of topics. So we basically pulled every topic in the world and kind of found which topic is adjacent to the which topic, so that we know that if you're learning this topic, you're going to go to the next concept. So it's pretty complex capability, which were was very successful. Google, it was corporate learning. B2B, Google is a customer using for Google employees, so that was a pretty big hallmark. Post acquisition to Cornerstone, I wrote a book on AI called AI for DPI, Digital Public Infrastructure. I've been involved with governments, so I was appointed as the chairman by the White House last year for Quad, which is the 4 country groups, US, Japan, Australia, and India. It's kind of like the NATO of the Pacific, but not much, doesn't work like NATO, but it is a security and a military alliance between the 4 governments. I work more on the technology, critical and emerging technologies for the 4 governments on dual use technologies, as well as helping them build a resilient supply chain. It's a volunteering work that I do. Give 40-50% of my time, just like many of you, doing volunteering. Very satisfying, very fulfilling to help the governments at a more strategic and the technology side, as well as financing, which is my area of interest. I am also just recently appointed as a adjunct professor at Deakin University in Australia to teach AI, more applied AI. There's a whole applied AI labs in Deakin University, which is pretty well run and well funded. Some very good researcher and good stuff coming out of it. So we'll be very deeply involved. Anyway, making a couple trips to Australia every year because of my Quad role, and so it brings me there now for another reason. And I have a venture studio between Silicon Valley and Palisades, Santa Monica area now, where I work with entrepreneurs even have our own ideas and incubate companies and bring in really smart people who wants to work on some cutting edge stuff. So that's my kind of, in my family office / personal life, what I'm now working on is excited about supporting the next big ideas and next great set of people who wants to build great stuff. I'm 54, so I've already gone through my 30 years of work career. But anyway, so that's me. Very, very excited about Kwaai. I'm really grateful to Reza to introduce me to Kwaai, and kind of looked at your website, and just this first call, just listening into it, I think you're on to something really great. I have a quick question just listening into it. I mean, being referred to as an OS, to what extent is it really the vision to make it like an OS, like an actual pillar, or is it sits on the top of a existing
OS? Yeah, and Doc Searles, who's one of our officers, asked the same question. So let me give you like 30 seconds. It's more a framework, much like Alexa is a framework, and they call their application skills. So we've been messing with the word. Is it an operating system? It's an operating system if you question what is the computer that runs our lives. The computer that runs our lives is not this laptop or this iPhone. It is a collection of cloud services, IoT devices, maybe even wearables. So when we stretch the definition of what is the computer, it's that layer of software that it runs on top of it that enables us to have personal AI agents or abilities.
I thought that it is like that, absolutely, but I just wanted to be like purity from a computer, as a computer science person. Is it like truly, are you building a whole Linux, or
it's got a kernel? So it's got a kernel, and it enables applications that we call abilities to run on top of it. Okay, so I see, Roman, you've got an answer for that, and I think Sam's also want to answer that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it manages resources wherever they are. It manages the interfaces between the resources. It'll do things like, a big part of it is going to be security. So you'll have components like security proxies and so on that will restrict access to different LLMs and data. So in that sense, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like it's more of an operating system, just at a higher layer than an application or framework or platform or some other thing.
Right. But you're not introduce. Are you also providing a compiler for a? You're not introducing a new programming language or anything like that. It'll still be a Python or any of the existing programming languages.
Yeah,
sorry, it'll run on top of other operating systems.
Okay, got it.
But we are using so it's built in Python with a React front end, but we are investigating some really cool technology called actually portable executables, which run on Windows, Linux, single file, embeds the whole website and everything in that single executable file. And that the one executable will run on Linux, Windows, Mac, BSD, you name it. It's really quite mind-bending technology.
Sure, cool. And a couple ideas. One is I run a nonprofit I founded 10 years back called Code for India. It was when I used to work for the White House for President Obama as a presidential innovation fellow. I saw Code for America, which started by Jen Falca, who is the former CTO of the White House. And I created a parallel organization called Code for India. We have a volunteering community of about a couple thousand software engineers of Indian origin living in the United States, working for companies like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, all of them. And I bring that community to build when there was a crisis, like there was an earthquake in India or there was some issues and some tech help is needed. They are like the tech corps that I pull them, and they might be, some of these folks might be excited about an open source, AI movement. So I can run kind of an outreach campaign, email to that community, and who might be interested in joining the Kwaai community. That's one. Second, the few academia that I'm involved with, like Beacon, where I'm now an official capacity, but many other universities that I have with some good partnerships in the past. I'm happy to spread the word.
Yes, please. The beta program, if we're looking for beta hosts, so those are these colleges and universities. Fantastic. Look, lots of hands up. Some of it, if we can discuss that in the hackathon, that'd be great. That probably is better. We like to give time to what we call member voices. We've got a huge clutch of new members, and we'd like to hear from them in this next segment. So, but Karsten, do you still have your hand up, or do you want to?
Yeah, I put a note into chat earlier. It sounds like we need like a storytelling working group. I mean, just the story that you were telling there and making sure that we're all on the same page with that stuff. That seems to be something that wants to stand up separately from just marketing.
Yes.
So I just want to ask that, just throw that out there so we can carry that conversation forward. But with so many people here who might be interested in that.
No, I appreciate that. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the way we convey our mission is through storytelling, and we need to do a better job of it. We need to do a job of scaling it so that many people can tell the stories and also make the stories their own. For me, it's very personal, but it's got to be personal. Yeah, now it's personal.
Right. Yeah, and for me was I had an instant light bulb moment. We started talking about it as an operating system. I've been working in Linux operating systems for the last 20 years, Fedora and CentOS projects. So to me, I was like, oh, of course, it makes perfect sense. But that's from a different perspective. So how do we make that a good story? So thank you.
Okay. So Debbie, why don't I hand over back to you, and you can.
Let's get through some of these member intros because we got 10 minutes.
Right.
Okie doke. Thank you so much for this presentation. Now, who do we have? New members?
And we're going to call on you. Dave Barry, hand up. Okay.
I was going to call on you. So, Dave. All right. We've got Dave Barry, Asher. So, David, let's start with you.
Whoever speaks up first wins. Okay.
Come on, Jesse, raise that hand.
I'm pulled over, so I'm not driving. Yeah, my background is mixed reality. I gave a speech on mixed reality in 2010 at MIT. That's really where I come from. But along the way, I lost my stepmother to cancer. That caused me to take the mixed reality software that I was using and apply it to CT scans. So I turned CT scans into point cloud and assigned color values based on their grayscale values or their Hounsfield units. And the work that I've done from that suggests that we may be able to eliminate or extremely reduce the amount of chemical contrast agents that are being given to patients because of the ability to use color contrasting in these 3D models. It also created all sorts of really cool visualizations that showed where some things were being activated and some things weren't. And then in order to disseminate that technology, we created a nonprofit called the Human Anatomy Project, the-hap.org, if anybody feels like checking it out. And that company has received some backing from the UN for sustainability. But I realized that everything that I had done still didn't solve the problem that what I had created assisted a radiologist's eye, but it wasn't assisting the information being evaluated. And so I came up just 2 months ago, I came up with something called the HITES method. HITES stands for Hierarchical Image Text Encoding System. Basically, I use a waterfall subdivision of a 512 by 512 grayscale image. Till I get down to 4,096 4 by 4 pixel regions. All of them are encoded into base 32 based on their grayscale value.
David, thanks so much. Look, I enjoyed when you and I spoke about it. Here's what we'd like to do is invite you for a lightning talk in a few weeks, and you can dive into a lot more detail. I think Asher was the next one up. Asher from View Ventures, speak up.
Yeah, from VU is Venture University. So it's the first accelerator for investors. It's kind of like a Y Combinator, but for investors and emerging fund managers. I joined VU in October, completed the accelerator program, and now I'm a venture partner. So I'm making investments, and my North Star is the user. So to me, if you want to come to the table, you have to show me that the user is the ultimate authority. And, you know, I'm going to represent that in investment committees, and I'm going to blog about it. And I've become a top voice in software design last week on LinkedIn. So to me, from a user experience perspective, we need to make sure that the user is the ultimate authority. Because like I said, the user is my North Star. Some of my chips on my shoulder that I talked to Reza about, it revolves around transparency, accountability, privacy, things like that. So I think we can send out the message to investors that, you know, in our hackathons and in our venture studios and accelerators, that we're providing this kind of mentorship around the user experience and differentiating ourselves from some of these other more developer-centric platforms that kind of pull the rug out from under you once you start developing. So that's my whole kind of
Thanks so much, Asher. Thanks very much. Jesse.
Hi, everyone. Jesse Lindsley. Toby, thanks for the invite. Toby and I look back, we started doing community engagement events back in 2011. So we've been doing this a long time. I am a 20-year CEO. I've had 2 gaming companies over these last 20 years, and I make games for brands, and over 200 that we've launched over those 20 years. And then we've also run a venture studio for the last 10 and incubated about 50 startups in the entertainment and media space.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much, Jesse. New members, you know, if you don't speak up, we're going to call on you. I'm scrolling through here. Okay. And we've got, I'm going to another shout out to Barrett Booth. Barrett, thank you so much again. Maybe you want to speak up, Barrett. Barrett has brought us in the last month, I think 40 new members, 40 new volunteers. And thanks so much. Look, the pitch to folks, to volunteers is, hey, AI is doing a number on your industry, and don't spend that time unemployed. Fill that gap in your resume with a tour of duty at Kwaai. You will be volunteering your time. You will be helping steering a movement. You'll be networking. You might get a job out of it. We've got a job opportunities bulletin board with 100 jobs, over 100 jobs there, with their with the LinkedIn address of the hiring manager. And so, look, you're coming, you're joining, you're participating, you are volunteering your tired hours, your in between job hours. You'll come away smarter than you left, and you'll feel good about it because you're working for a cause that we all feel passionate about. Look, we are on a roadmap. We're heading towards this beta. We're trying to converge 3 streams of development: the front end, the back end, and the technical architecture. That's going to happen as Roman and Sam described over the next couple of months. We'd love your energy into that. But look, if you're not technical, we've also got a policy track. You can come in and join on the policy track, where we are drafting a policy language for a world with AI. That's AI in society, AI in the workplace. There's going to be laws and policies. Now, we're not a lobbying organization. We're prohibited from lobbying, but we partner with other nonprofits that are allowed to lobby, and we can move that forward. Karsten, your hand's up.
Yeah, and I just wanted to expand also what you were saying about the technical sides of things. One of the things that we've really proven in the open source community R&D world is that every role that you might have in an organization has an equivalent in an open source project. Like if you marketing, fundraising, sales, development, support, user support, customer success, all those things have roles on the project side. So the technical bits may not be where you're in, but around it, absolutely all roles are needed for sure. So keep your eyes open.
And also on that note, any advisors on the call that have not scheduled a call, a one-on-one with me yet, please take time. My calendar link is in Slack. You can ping me in Slack anytime, but please get your one-on-one so I can help assist and guide you where we need you. And that's all the advisors. So if you're an advisor, please schedule a one-on-one.
Fantastic. Jordan, your hand's up.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a related note, but a question I had, assuming that nobody else has any introductions, if somebody wants to do an introduction, jump right in. It's really your intro time. But Reza, what's happening? I thought I saw a post from you about this Kwaai Palooza stuff, and I know there's been some talk about that.
Okay.
How's that going?
Yeah, it's going well. So I'll put the website up while Toby talks about it. So
yeah. So far, we've got 11 cities on the schedule. A really good update. We have a football player who's a venture scout out of Arizona who plays for the Cardinals. I got an inbound from him wanting to bring an event to Arizona. About an hour after Alan Smith asked me, was I interested in bringing an event to Arizona? So it looks like with ASU, Musa Ventures, and this football player that plays with the Cardinals, we're going to be doing an Arizona event as well. So now we're up to 12. And if any of you want to help us bring events to your city, please just coordinate with me and Karsten. We have a bare minimum kind of cost that we look to get a sponsor buy-in. But the beautiful thing is that DataStax has agreed to kind of anchor our events and bring in 3 or 4 other event sponsors to cover our base costs. So really, we really need to push and drive now, because we can start bringing in donations for Kwaai after that. So our cost has pretty much been covered for most of the events. So we really need to push for more sponsors, because the more sponsors we get now, this is when it starts to really convert into actual donations for Kwaai. So been great traction. And once again, all of you guys, members, please, if you have a company, send us your logo. You get a free community sponsorship in whatever market you're in. If you want to do it across all the markets, we're here to support you. Kwaai is you, you are Kwaai. So please get involved, get engaged. This is really about showcasing you, the talent in the community, what we're building, and helping Kwaai get some visibility so we can, meet our donor requirements for 2024. So anyone interested in PyPalooza is, oh, one more thing. We are going to use the Techstars Startup Weekend format. So we are actually encouraging people to create companies, not just hack projects. Come to PyPalooza, build a team, and join the AI builder community. There could be funding. There are funders in the community. I mean, Musa Capital, Cornelius Ventures. There's 5 or 6. Pankaj has a fund. So we have funders in the community that are looking for AI deal flow. So if you guys have startups, also please let us know. We'll introduce you to the investors that are within the circle of Kwaai already. But that's really, you know, it's a community effort and it's been going great. I couldn't be more pleased.
Okay.
I mean, is there a Slack channel that's covering discussion of the planning for the PyPalooza stuff?
No, we should create one.
We should create one. No, we don't have one, but
definitely. I'm sure there's a few loose ends to sort out.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah,
So I just registered then. It takes 2 seconds. So if anybody here is in any of those cities, you can go and fill in the form and get signed up.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the schedule for the city by city.
And it's cool if we want to do all of this in the Kwaai Slack. Just be aware that means we'll be needing to bring people in who want to help with PyPalooza, but who are not trying to be Kwaai members.
Yeah. Okay. So look, it's kind of hidden at the moment, so we should publicize that. I see Dave's got his hand up, but could you also post the link to the hackathon straight after this, so people can hop onto that? If it's brief, Dave, please give us.
It is just wanted, because I'm driving, if someone that is involved with the sponsorship, the Human Anatomy Project would be interested in the sponsorship opportunity. So if someone could reach out to me in Slack, it'll be about 5 hours before I'm able to get in front of communications with phone.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I thought, yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. Well, thank you all. Happy Kwaai Day, everybody. We're going to hop over to the hackathon call now.
Yes. Hey, one more thing. If you could drive it, Reza, I'm going to be a little late to the next call.
I will.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I'll see you guys over there. And put the link in the chat here, because if Jesse or any of the new members want to hop into the hackathon and chat about product or anything, they can have the link as well.
Right. Okay. We will do that shortly.
Oh, and then I did hear a pattern that Karsten put in the chat. Venture studios. We've got quite a few people here that are in the venture studio kind of world. So we should plan to have a little talk amongst the venture studio people in the group as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, the link is now in the chat. Thanks so much, Debbie, for posting that. And then Debbie's also posted the office hours link, which is on Monday. So actually, that's a bit confusing. It says it's at 10 a.m.
Let me repost it because it's putting my time zone. So ignore that one.
I was putting your time. I was putting your
because
time.
on my calendar shows it's mine. So ignore. Let me repost with, LA times.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Okay. Well, look, thank you very much. Signing off here, and keep well. If we don't see you in the hackathon, then I'll see you all next week. Okay. Keep well. Bye.
Bye.